I told you in my very first video that I had no children. That's not completely true. I am a mother. And while I've written about this before, I've never voiced it. But I think it's time. I sent my baby on an early flight home. This is my abortion story. And before anybody tries to fill in the blanks or decides that they know who I was before this, I need you to know something. This story didn't begin with a positive pregnancy test. It began long before that. I was a young woman who was hurting, confused, lost, and trying to survive. And at the time, I was dealing with someone that I called X-File M, Mike. We had broken up, but he didn't understand that. And honestly, I didn't understand how much abuse can affect you even after the relationship is no longer there. In 1996, we had broken up. He refused to move on. Tried to live my life. I really, really did. But it was hard until I met Lee. I met Lee walking to the store. He pulled up beside me, had a cute little conversation. He was very nice looking. Tall, slender, a whole lot of hair, a little lighter complexion than myself, smiling back. He was very interested in me, very, very interested in me. I didn't know what to do with that. And I was actually concerned because Mike was on my behind all the time. And I had to worry about his comings and goings and whatnot. It was a lot. He had his little girl with him, cute little girl. I got to know some of his family. He had an awesome family life, very much supportive, unlike mine at the time. He had a good job. He had his own everything. He seemed very stable. We ended up going on a couple of dates. I introduced him to my mom. My mom loved him, definitely, since he took a lot of the attention off of Mike. He absolutely treated me like a lady. And like I said, this was new to me. It was foreign, having some guy actually show real, genuine interest in me. I didn't know what to do with that. It was scary, but I liked it. I actually loved it. But I was torn between what in the world do I do if Mike shows up? He was safety when I knew no safety. And what I absolutely loved about him is he promised that no matter what, he would keep me safe. We did it. We did do. That sealed everything for me. Him making this promise, looking at me in the eyes, taking care of me, letting me know everything was going to be fine. Yes, I had sex with him. I felt like I had to. He didn't only want sex though. He wanted me to actually be his lady, his woman. A few weeks go by and I'm starting to not feel like myself. I'm extra tired. I'm eating dang near everything in sight, but honestly, that wasn't new. But the telltale for me was I kept having this horrible pain in my neck right here. Horrible pain just kept beating. And it kind of like, I won't just say pain, but it was like a throbbing sensation and it was very annoying. I didn't know what that was. So I decided I'd go get it checked. I go to the doctor. Doctor does an exam on me and instantly gives me the news. He told me, "Congratulations, you're going to be a mom." And I looked at him like, "I know you lying." And I started tearing up. And he was like, Is that not good news? And I just looked at him. I was devastated because no, that was not good news. I got dressed and just so happened to walk right past the doctor as he left the room going to get the nurse to do a blood test on me. Walked right past him. He even recognized me. I left the hospital crying. Get home. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I talked to my neighbor who also knew about my situation with Mike, but she also knew Lee and she liked him as well. And I'm telling her, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? I cannot have a baby. She just got quiet, listened to me, and then tells me, I know somewhere you can go that can take care of problems like yours. The Hope Clinic for Women. I'm like, abortion? She was like, yeah. I couldn't even believe that I even considered the thoughts. I didn't think I had support from anyone. I couldn't tell my mom, who was already against abortion, and I could not lose her love. I absolutely could not tell Mike because if I told him, that was going to definitely be a problem. Couldn't tell him, I couldn't let him see that I was showing or had any proof or evidence I'd been with some other man because, like I said, if I can't have you, no one will. And he meant that. And what would Lee do if I told him that I was pregnant? He already had a child. He had to worry about me now and an abusive man. It was a whole lot I had to juggle. I decided to move forward with the abortion. I decided to end one life instead of losing the three. Myself, Lee, and the baby. If Mike had seen me, there would have been no getting around that. Everybody would have suffered. Everybody would have had to pay. At that point, I hated to, but I cut off all contact with Lee, all of it. Radio silence, said nothing else to him. Nothing else. So that way he would just leave me alone. I couldn't risk him. I couldn't risk him getting hurt because of me. He knew about Mike because he had taken me to the hospital, because he had beaten me. He took me to the emergency room and even talked to the doctor who was always there, seems like every time I had a situation. And he was going to press charges if I did not. I was just in an unsafe environment and I was trying to do what I thought was best for everyone involved. I then started saving up $350 for my baby's life. A few weeks go by and it's my appointment time. I was there all day instead of being in and out within 2-hour time frame I think they gave. But I was there all day debating back and forth, what's going to happen to me if I do this? What's going to happen to my soul if I do this? What's going to happen? My counselor was awesome. She was a beautiful woman, beautiful soul. And no matter what I said or how I felt, she was with me from point A to point B. I was there 6 hours. 6 hours. And this woman stayed with me. There was a point where they checked to see how far along you are. And I heard my baby's heartbeat. that broke me. On that day, I was 6 weeks along. I finally decided to go on through with it. I signed the papers. I took my Valium, waited in the whatever, I guess, waiting room until they called me back. By this time, I am high as a kite. I'm so high, so high, so high out my mind that the room that I was in, it was like a nursery, actually. Pictures of animals all over the place. Real cute, gray walls, but pictures of animals all over, even on the ceiling, right? Well, these animals literally came to life. They were laughing. They were laughing, and I was dying laughing right along with them. And the two doctors and the nurse that was in there with me, they were like, "You are the funniest patient we've had all day." And I remember even hearing them say that. And I'm still laughing. But I remember wanting to cry. I remember wanting to just walk out. You just turn around, you can go. But I couldn't. And the whole time I'm still laughing hysterically while I see all these animals come to life and start laughing. The procedure starts. The vacuum sound begins, and my baby's life ends. Sitting on that table, my life ended too. I was told to stay off of my feet, go home and get some rest, eat something, and just take it easy. Well, I was not going to do that. There was nothing for me to take it easy for. I went to work. At the time, I had a cleaning job. I went to work, slowly but surely started bleeding. Before my shift was over, I hemorrhaged pretty badly. I didn't want to go to the hospital or nothing because I felt like you need to die. You should die. Your child's gone. $350 you paid to get rid of him. What are you working for now? What are you working so hard for? You should die. All this stuff went through my head while I'm bleeding. Blood all over my pants. Bled straight through my stuff, but I finished my shift not caring a little bit about my own life. Why should I? That's how I felt. I get all patched up and try to live as normal of a life as I could. Some time went by, and guess who I see? Lee. He's in the store. I'm in the store, but I'm not by myself. I'm holding Mike's hand. Lee is looking at me. And with my eyes, I'm communicating to him, please, 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 please don't say anything. Don't say anything. We literally are just sitting there staring at each other. It's like we had a silent argument because he was looking at me like he knew what I had done. He teared up. He teared up and walked out the store. And that was the last time I saw him. I was more devastated than ever at that point. That broke me because I could not tell him what happened, why I made the choice that I made. I was a different person after that. I was much different. I became a cocoon of my former self. I was already in bad shape, but I was much worse. Much, much, much worse. I was aggressive. I was angry. I was bitter. I was unforgiving. I was terrified. I'm looking over my shoulder, but at the same time, I'm hoping, just hoping something would happen to me so that way I could end it all. Not that I was suicidal, but I was just hoping, today if it happens and I leave the earth, good riddance. That's how I felt. There was no coming back from the abortion because I declared myself a murderer. I was too far gone for even the Lord to forgive me. It took me a while to even give the baby a name, which I felt was a boy. I called him Gabriel, but that was it. He didn't need more of a name because look what I had done to him, his mother. From 1996 to 2022, I was a mess. I even accepted Christ and I was still a mess because that little part was aching on the inside, was eating away at the very fabric of what made Cheryl Renee Cheryl Renee. I covered it up with Christianity, saying I loved the Lord and knew him. And the whole time I could not forgive myself. For years I thought this story ended in 1996, but it didn't, because God didn't leave me in 1996. He walked with me through shame, through silence, guilt, self-hate, and eventually he brought me to healing through an abortion recovery class. Over 30 years, I was finally able to say my baby's name and give him a complete name. Gabriel Armand Bell. I was finally able to say what I had done without falling apart. And while I can't change my decision, I don't live under the condemnation anymore. And if you're carrying something you've never forgiven yourself for, I want you to know that healing is possible because I know I've lived it. So this series had purpose. The first one, which was why God said wait. I gave a whole bunch of reasons why God said wait and why I'm waiting. And the last one, which was the boundaries that no one understands, why I'm waiting till marriage to kiss. All of that, everything that I've been doing the past couple of weeks is for this pivotal moment right here, the abortion. I did something that caused me to have heartache and pain for years. And I just can't go back through that again. I'm not. And I'm praying that you all are listening and taking heed to what I said so that way you don't have to make the mistake that I did either. Learn from mine. I've already made it for you. Okay? So if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to me. Come chill. Come hang. I do love y'all.